You don't bench a player that was shooting that hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was shooting extremely well, and you benched her the entire game. What's up with that? What is the cause of that? What is the purpose of that? What happened? Was she injured? What happened? She suited up, so I don't think she was injured.
This is not the Indiana Fever you once knew. This is not the franchise fans dreamed of reviving. This is a team ripped apart from the inside. And the name at the center of it all, Stephanie White, the so-called coach, the supposed leader, the one who promised to rebuild Indiana Fever, has instead become the destroyer of their dynasty before it even began. Imagine this: Sophie Cunningham, Aaliyah Boston, Nalissa Smith, all sitting in the locker room, broken, frustrated, whispering the same question over and over again. Why is she doing this to us? Because behind the cameras, away from the press conferences, the truth is ugly. Stephanie White has not been building this team. She's been tearing it apart brick by brick. Fans see the losses, the humiliations, the endless mistakes, but what they don't see are the secret decisions, the power plays, the constant clashes inside that locker room. Stephanie White didn't just fail as a coach. She became the very enemy of Indiana Fever. And for 3 long years, she has destroyed everything that players fought to build. But here's where the story gets even darker. Because if there's one thing everyone in that locker room now knows, it's that Caitlyn Clark is the only hope left. Yes, the rookie, the new face, the one everyone doubted. She's not just a star anymore. She's the last line of defense, the only savior who can protect Indiana Fever from total collapse. And tonight, we're exposing exactly how Stephanie White wrecked this franchise, betrayed her players, and left Caitlyn Clark as the only hope standing between Indiana Fever and complete destruction. The story starts years ago. Indiana Fever wasn't always broken.
88-84. Let me see here, man. Let me see here, guys. I mean, I don't want to hear about Caitlyn. At this point, I don't even want Caitlyn to come back and play with this BS team, bro. I don't even want her to come back this season. This is ridiculous. Says Sophie Cunningham. She played 30 minutes, 8.6, 6 assists. I don't care. Sophie's wide open at the end. Should have passed her the damn ball. She was going to hit that money ball. Sophie's the only clutch player on the team. Sophie and Polly Kelsey.
Sophie, till late in the third quarter, you guys were struggling offensively in that frame. Second half in general didn't feel the same as the first half on that end. Did something change for you guys? What did you see as kind of leading to stalling on that end?
Yeah, I think we were just kind of slow. And every time that we're slow, especially defensively, it just somehow affects our offense. And so I think the thing that we just have to continue to do.
The night before, they just proved with Sophie Cunningham and Kelsey Mitchell sharing the point guard responsibilities that they don't need a true point guard. So I got a problem with Stephanie White again, and I had been.
They had a dream. They had potential. Aaliyah Boston, the young powerhouse drafted to be the foundation. Nalissa Smith, hungry, talented, ready to rise. Sophie Cunningham, the fighter, the spark, the one who gave her blood and sweat for every possession. But then came Stephanie White. From the outside, she looked like a professional, a coach with credentials. But behind the curtain, her decisions became nightmares. First, it was the rotations. Fans begged, players begged, but White kept benching the wrong players, breaking momentum, killing chemistry. Imagine Sophie Cunningham working all game to give Fever energy, only to be yanked out at the very moment she was heating up.
The outside things, you can't control injuries, and so that's why you really do have to control your mental and control what you can control. And I think that we have a really good group. We're still a tight-knit group. We're adding new players in that are amazing. O's been around the league for a long time, and I know you don't think so, but it's a blessing that you were on another team because we need you here. And so I just think it's an adjustment period. The highs and lows, you just have to stay kind of steady, right? Every team faces it. I feel like we faced it more than most this year.
How disruptive maybe was that to both maybe the flow and what both teams were trying to do and find a rhythm out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a physical game. I think there's a double standard in how people get their calls. I think Kelsey Mitchell, number one, is held or chucked on every freaking possession and never gets a call off the ball. I think Aaliyah Boston is the worst officiated post player in the league. She never gets a call.
Imagine Aaliyah Boston forced into plays that don't fit her style. Imagine Nalissa Smith sidelined for no reason, her confidence destroyed. Then came the favoritism. Players whispered about it. Some got special treatment, others got ignored. Sophie, the heart of the team, she felt it the most. Every sacrifice, every hustle play, all for nothing, because White had already chosen who she wanted to shine. But the deadliest betrayal was strategy. Indiana Fever's game plan wasn't just bad, it was suicidal. Stephanie White's schemes left players lost on defense, broken on offense, and humiliated night after night. The locker room stopped believing. They stopped trusting. 3 years. 3 years of failure. 3 years of broken promises. And Sophie Cunningham, Aaliyah Boston, Lexie Hull, and the others, they realized something horrifying. Their enemy wasn't across the court. Their enemy was sitting on their own bench. But then, something shifted. A storm walked into Indiana Fever. Blonde ponytail, sharpshooter's stare, ice in her veins. Caitlyn Clark. From the very first game, she felt the chaos. She saw the dysfunction. But unlike the others, she wasn't ready to bow down. Caitlyn Clark didn't come to Indiana Fever to lose. She came to rewrite history, and fans knew it too. Every arena sold out, every highlight going viral, every shot she drained. It wasn't just points on the scoreboard. It was a warning to Stephanie White herself. Your time is running out. Inside the locker room, players started rallying around Clark. Sophie Cunningham, once broken, now fueled by Clark's fire. Aaliyah Boston, finally smiling again, finally believing again. Nalissa Smith, playing like she had something to prove. Caitlyn wasn't just a rookie. She was becoming the leader Stephanie White could never be. And that's when the tension exploded. Whispers of arguments during timeouts, glares during huddles. Stephanie White desperate to hold control. Caitlyn Clark refusing to bow. And the rest of the team watching, waiting, choosing sides. Because they all knew the real battle wasn't just against opponents. It was Clark versus White, and only one would survive. Now the Fever stands at a crossroads. Fans chanting Clark's name louder than ever. Media demanding answers. Players breaking their silence. Stephanie White, 3 years of destroying this team from the inside. Caitlyn Clark, the rookie savior, the only hope to save everything. The question is no longer if, the question is when.
Well, if they're in the playoffs at all, and she's healthy, if Caitlyn Clark, the only reason Caitlyn Clark should not return is if she's at risk for further injury or her career is at risk for further injury. Otherwise,
when will Indiana Fever finally choose? When will they tear down the enemy WW?